Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome out here to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, where normally we'd be seeing a racing on the big half mile, but tonight, a little bit of a change-up. The first time ever for myself and the first time ever for the Race1Wraps Street Stock Series to be here on the quarter mile and what is probably the most anticipated event of the year. It is the quarter mile for the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast 125 here this evening. And it is going to be an exciting one here. $25 to win, $15 for second, and a $10 bill for third place. This tight and technical bull ring will push the drivers to be as smooth as possible and make the best decisions behind the wheel. We also would like to thank Race1Wraps.com is your one-stop shop for banners, race car designs, anything that you need. Race1Wraps.com is the place to go for all of your graphic needs. Taylor Equals Boardwalk Sub-Style Jersey-Style Soup, Subs, and Salad serving West Michigan. And tonight's presenting sponsor of the Bubba's Bout Broke 125 is the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast that features your local short track heroes. Each and every Monday night, a new episode will come out. Check them out on the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast, where you listen to your podcasts today. And LaPlante Racing Products, the Triple Crown Series sponsor here tonight, as we look going here to LaPlante Racing Products, keeping these cars all on the racetrack each and every week. And well, we'll give you a look here from the spectator side of you at the most winningest driver this season, the number 44 of Zach Nichols, up on the racetrack for his qualifying time. We'll see what kind of lap time Nichols will go. He is going to jump no time on lap number 1. We'll look at your best times right now currently for qualifying. The car come off the corners. Nichols going to put lap number 2 in the books. He'll go second quick. And the man that was fastest in qualifying here or in practice earlier, the number 49 of Jake Grout. He sits up top of the scoring pylon with one driver left to go. You see him burning out right there. That is the number 31 of Logan Powers. As we look at your qualifying time, Grout showing the way over the number 7 of Jackson McLaren. And Jackson McLaren is the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast sponsored driver. And he will be racing right here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in real life during the American 400 weekend. So make sure you check out that and keep an eye on how McLaren is doing when the American 400 weekend rolls around. And we'll keep our tabs on them. We always like to see what they are up to, what they're doing, and how the racers are doing in the real world. As McLaren sits there, Logan Power going to go 9th quick on lap number 1. Lap number 2 is going to be a little tick of a slower. So Jake Grout going to sit atop of the scoring pylon, and he'll go number 1 here this afternoon. So qualifying in the books, looks like we will get ready to go with tonight's main event. Let's take a look at that Race1Wraps.com information presented by the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast 125 here this afternoon. And I tell you, this race is going to be an exciting one. If practice was any indication of what we may see out there tonight, it is going to be a very fun race to watch and see as we get ready to go with tonight's racing activities. A packed house here, and I am not sure what to expect other than some great racing that we have each and every week. And we want to thank you all for tuning on in here to watch the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast 125 for the Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series. Make sure you hit that thumbs up out there, folks. Let these drivers know that you appreciate what they are doing for you. If you have not hit that subscribe button, why not? You get notification every time the American Sim Racing Club goes racing, or any other of our leagues that we showcase here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You get notifications every time we go live. As we look now at the starting lineup for tonight's main event. And this is what it looks like. Starting on the pole for tonight's feature event. Is going to be the number 49 of Jake Grout. So Grout going to be up on the point here tonight. As there we go. Outside of him, the winningest driver and your current high points man in the series, number 44 of Zach Nichols, Brett the Jet Hahn. He's going to roll off in spot number 2. In row number 2. On the outside of him, the number 52 of Jeff Dillon. Braxton Deweese will roll off 5th in that interstate number 4. And outside of him, the 00. This is Steve Rochford. Zach Coyer and Jackson McLaren will make up row number 4. And row number 5 going to be Logan Powers and David Payton. Ethan Tyrell in car number 23. And outside of him, the number 4, this is Stephen Kinnard will roll off in 12th. Your 13th starter will be Ty Delphia, and outside of him, the number 13, this is Caleb Ramsey. Driver out of Newfoundland, Devin McDonald will roll off 15th. John Dornbos will roll off 16th. Hayden Swank 17th, and outside of him, car number 38, it'll be Braden Cook. Andrew Hardings and Danny Honeyset will roll off 19th and 20th. Scott Roach for 21st. John DeMeester and Zach Ford roll off 23rd. So 23 starters strong here this afternoon as the field rolls behind that pace car and pace truck. And you just see how small of a racetrack this is. It's weird seeing the big stock cars on the little quarter mile. They dreamed it up. They finally made it come true. And they are ready to put on a show here tonight for the Bubba's Bout Broke Podcast 125. Jake Grout and Zach Nichols will show the field to green flag as it looks like the pace truck about to pull into pit road. Maybe next time we'll get some extra heat in these tires. We're getting all excited for nothing, folks. How about these race cars? They all look great out there. You can see them all rolling underneath that start-finish line. Barney, our flag man, with the green flag up in his hands. And the green flag. Green flag is up, and we are underway down into turn number 1. You see them all stabbing on the brakes, trying to get into that line. Everybody going to make it through 1 and 2. Oh, look at the bumper tag. Oh, that's going to be something we're going to see all night long here, folks. A little bit deeper in the back, but up front, Kraut leads it over Hahn. Now, Braxton Louise trying to work underneath Zach Nichols. Nichols going to try to slam the door shut. He will do so. Lap number 2 into the books, up off the corner. Side by side battle between the 52 and the 00. That's Jeff Dillon in at 52. And the 00 is Stephen Rochford. A little bit deeper in the pack, you see these cars all over each other. They're on each other like a cheap date at the Waffle House. But up front, Jake Grout leads it over there. Here comes a look to the inside. Braxton Louise going to go to the inside, trying to make something happen. Couldn't quite do it there. Look out the back side there at Steve Rochford behind them as everybody's kind of single filing it out. And what is an exciting race so far. Great camera work from the staff here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. How about the Bubba's Bout broadcast? Number 7 of McLaren, he runs right there. Spot number 9. As he works up off the corner, we'll take a lap with him to see what a lap looks like here. You can see Logan Powers has been center punched already here. And this is a great run so far. McLaren will be here on the big half mile for American 400 weekend, so make sure you check all the socials and see what they are up to. McLaren taking a look to the inside here, trying to make something happen on Powers, but up front, Brett Hahn is all over the backside of Jake Grout. Chris and Doug, good to see you out there in the chats here this afternoon. Braxton trying to find his way around the 44 of Nichols. And don't blink your eyes. Under 15-second lap times right now. A little bit deeper in the field, but we have our first Talarico Boardwalk sub-yellow flag. And trying to see what has brought out the yellow flag here on lap number 11. I do not see anything out of the ordinary. Let's see what our yellow flag was stemmed from. We'll take a look here and see if we can see anything. And it might have been for the 45 of Hardings coming out of the pit. So we'll go with that because I don't see any action around the racetrack, but everybody's staying out. And remember, no tires in the pits here for these Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series race. And Jake Grout has led it since the green flag has come out. And I tell you, unless you're going to use that chrome horn, these restarts might be the spot where you're going to try to make up some ground. Lap traffic will become very interesting here this afternoon. Green flag back up, and we're back underway. Down here into turn number 1, the 44. Nichols right to the inside of the 71 of Brett Hahn. Hahn going to try to slam that door on the outside of him. Can't quite make it happen, just quite off the corner, and Hahn going to now fall back just a little bit. To the outside, now Stephen Rochford trying to take that third spot away. Braxton Louise stuck to the outside as well. Oh, they go a little bit sideways off the corner. Jeff Dillon trying to make that outside happy. Got a little bit of a curb down there. And turns 1 and 2. Call it a little rumble strip. Kind of keep these guys up off the grass. Jackson McLaren working down low. He's up to spot number 7 and car number 7. Good stuff there. Zach Coyer now working his way up. This was a home game for Zach Coyer. And Coyer would love to do nothing more but to be on the podium, or even better, in the victory lane. As Deweese was able to get down, he's now trying to force his way underneath the 71. 13 gets a little bit loose, uses the left front of that U.S. Air Force car to straighten himself up. How about Ty Delphia in that 92 car? He's working there. That's not him. That's Ethan Tyrell. He gets up into the side of the 52. Almost catches that concrete. You can see he's been rubbing on people. He's got tire marks all over that DuPont number 92. Out front, Jake Grout. Battle for the race lead. We might have a lead change. At the line, it was the 49 VT as your race leader. The 49 goes up high, tries to cross him back over, but the 44 of Zach Nichols still just a little too strong at this juncture of the race. 1/5 of the way almost there, but Grout all over the back side of him. trying to make something happen. A little bit of a bumper tag up the racetrack. He will go. Grout trying to make something happen. Couldn't quite do it there. It says, hello, meet my front bumper, Mr. Nichols. Nichols was ready for it. Kept that car straight. This field already closing in on the back side. His last place just at the start finish line now. There it is. So not too far. They'll be into lap traffic, and that is when I believe it is going to become really interesting. That bottom is the preferred lane. That's where you want to be. And we're going to see a little bit more of that bumper tag, I do believe, a little bit deeper in the back. Let's take a check back here, see what Caleb Ramsey's up to. Ramsey in that 14th spot, but your hardest charger up 5 positions is the 35 of Hayden Swank, the driver out of Woodstock, Georgia. He's right there behind that number 13 of Philadelphia. So everybody just minding their P's and Q's right now, side by side. Stephen Kinrod, the 29 of Dornbos. He's going to make a move as he passes the 18 of Devin McDonald. McDonald's been using that front chrome horn. You see that all wrinkled up there. Zach Nichols starting to stretch it out as now the 49 of Grout starting to feel the pressure from Rochefort. Rochefort has Zach Coyer all over the backside. And one car in trouble. That's Philadelphia. He sits backwards off of turn number 2. He'll get pointed back in the right direction, but the race control going to throw the yellow flag for the 13 VT of Philadelphia, who is facing in the wrong direction. How did he get there? Well, that's funny that you may ask. We're going to take and try to find out just how Philadelphia was facing that wrong direction. Let's take a look here and see. Racing with Hayden Swank and the 92 of Tyrell down into the corner. Just gets down here and a little bit of a bumper tag from the 35 of Hayden Swank, and that's all she wrote. The 13 waiting for the cars to go by and gets pulled back out on the racetrack right in front of the race leaders. And that'll bring out our second Tallarico Boardwalk sub-yellow flag of the evening for a single car incident, which very lucky to just be that. So we'll have to see how everybody's going to stack up here. That inside lane is where you want to be. So now Jake Grout is going to be on that outside of the front row. Stephen Rochefort will restart 3rd. Zach Coyer 4th. Braxton Louise 5th. The 45 of Andrew Hardings. He missed the start of the race, so he's going to get one of those laps back in his number 45 Thunderbird. So he'll get a lap back. What y'all think so far out there? The 44 of Zach Nichols taking the race lead on lap 26. And now finds himself as the field starts to double up behind the pace truck. Pretty entertaining race so far, if you ask me. Was not sure what to really expect on the way here this afternoon. We're missing our good buddy Racing Jason. He elected to go pick up a real race car versus come here and watch this entertaining race. Yeah, I know. Priorities. He doesn't have any. Pace truck down and away. We're ready to go back. Green flag racing, and here we are. Down in the turn 1 and 2. Grout trying to get down to inside as fast as he can. Level 0 Rochefort was a little bit sideways. That's going to allow Grout down to the inside. He'll tuck back in line in spot number 2. 2 by 2 though behind them between Rochefort and Zach Coyer. They got them stacked up here. 7 of Jackson McLaren trying to figure out which way to go to. Is the 71 able to get down early on in this one? Braxton Luis into that 4th spot now. The 13 of Zach Hoyer on that outside. And you see how upset these cars get down there. And Brett Hahn throws it in deep and into the left rear quarter panel of the 8 car. Stacks them up behind them. Coyer's fighting back on the outside. Brett Hahn. Oh, the contact there is Coyer trying to get to the inside. Was able to do so, getting down in front of Jackson McLaren. And the yellow flag coming out once again. For a yellow flag involving John Dornbos and Devin McDonald. Let's take a look back here and see. They're stacking them up in front. Oh, the 52 down to the inside low, stacks them up. Oh, and the 38 just touches the backside of the 29 after that stack up. Let's go on board one more time. Look out the backside. You can see them all battling up here. Jeff Dillon down the inside. They check up getting in the corner. And the 38 just was not expecting that. That is, I believe, the 038. They're making contact. Was Braden Cook's entry, and yes it was. He's been sent to the rear after that contact. I believe Ty Delphia should get the free pass, get back on the lead lap. And a long ways to go, not even close to the halfway point yet. So plenty of time. Left to go. As the 13 will get his lap back. So Zach Nichols still leads over Jake Rout. His 00 Rochefort is 3rd. Braxton DeWeese in 4th. 5th spot will be Brett Hahn. He's going to restart it inside. Integrity Farms number 13 of Cold Beer Zach Coyer will sit in at 6th. And Mr. Bubba's About Broke podcast, the number 7 of Jackson McLaren, roll off in P number 7. Outside of him, the 31 of Logan Powers, Jeff Dillon, and Ethan Tyrell rounds out your top 10. That 7 car, well, the driver inside that race car, he'll be here in real life for the American 400 race. Make sure you check out Bubba's About Broke podcast each and every Monday when the new episodes drop, as the green flag drops, and we are back underway. Nichols leads it on here. A little bit more bumper contact as Rochefort. He had the teeth of that U.S. Air Force car chomping on him. A little bit more contact up off the corner. We expected this here this afternoon, and this tight and rumble quarter mile. And we've seen how important it is to get down to the inside. And you see Braxton trying to get there, the 71 trying to fill that hole. Down to the inside. Up off corner number 4 they come. Oh, Rochefort a little bit sideways. That's going to check him up, but the yellow flag coming out as Stephen Kennard facing the wrong way off of turn number 4. So the Bubba's About Broke podcast 125 slowed for the 4th time here. Let's take a look here and see what happened to Kennard. Racing back here with the 77 of Scott Rochefort. Hayden Swig trying to make his way back through there. Rochefort able to get back in the gas a little bit sooner, and around will go to number 4 to bring out our 4th yellow flag of the afternoon. So Zach Nichols leads. Jake Grout second. Stephen Rochford in spot number 3. Brett Hahn is 4th. 5th will be Braxton Luis and Jackson McLaren in spot number 6. 7th will be Zach Coyer. Jeff Dillon is 8th. Logan Powers 9th. Right behind him, the 10th spot is the number 13 of Caleb Ramsey. David Payton is 11th. 12th is Ethan Tyrell. Devin McDonald and Hayden Swank running 13th and 14th. 15th is the 77 of Scott Rochford. Danny Honeyout in that number 710 runs in spot 16. John DeMeester in the Miller Draft High Life 17th. Johnny Dolenbos is 18th. Ty Delphia, Zach Ford, Brandon Cook, Stephen Kinnard, and Andrew Hardings is how your field runs. Field rolls down the backstretch, getting ready to come back to life. Underneath the green flag, just shy of the halfway point. Zach Nichols not waiting around. Green flag is up, and we are back underway. Down in the corner, top 3 get single file, 1 car around, and that is Hayden Swank. And just like that, the 5th yellow flag will come out as Swank's car facing sideways in the turn number 1. Let's see. Here on this restart, Swank was running on the outside of the 18 of Devin McDonald down in the turn number 1. Oh, tried to cut down and was not quite clear. Let's go there. Look out the back side of him on this restart. Oh, just gets tapped there. And oh, boy. Hang on. Just one more. Whew. So that Torque entry number 35 going to get pointed back in the right direction. Devin McDonald being sent to the tail. As Zach Nichols leads this one, the field is starting to double up. Next time by is Andrew Harding is going to get one of his laps back. Pace truck down and away. Green flag is up, and we are underway with the Bubba's About Broke Podcast 125 restart down here through turns 1 and 2. Top 2 get single file. Stephen Rochford with a good restart. He's trying to hold off the 71 as he rolls through here. And oh, everybody's in the fence. Hang on to it, McLaren. Jackson scraping up that beautifully painted number 7 car. The Bubba's About Broke Podcast on there. Logan Powers, he's going to take that 7th spot away. McLaren says, nope, not just yet. But McLaren has a little bit of a hole. He's going to be able to cross them back up as McLaren relegated back to P number 8. Ramsey, though, he's trying to get underneath Jeff Dillon. Dillon started back in the 4th spot, now finds himself on the 10th spot. And how about that Pinkerton oil number 38? David Payton as we go on board with him. Here, just how soft and easy they have to be on that throttle. Zach Nichols up on the front, leads it at the halfway point. John Dornbos in that 29 car. He runs in the 12th spot. A good run for Dornbos. Has not had lady luck on his side this season. As Jeff Dillon catches the outside fence. That allows Dornbos to move into the 11th position. Meanwhile, your race leader, Zach Nichols, going to be closing in on lap traffic here in another lap or so. And that's what I think is going to become very interesting as Grout is all over him. Grout really pressuring the backside of Nichols as we approach lap traffic here on lap number 69. Lap 70 starting. Nichols trying to protect that bottom side. There's the top 5-6 cars, all single file. About 3 car lengths back to the 00 of Rochefort. And Grout all over the backside. And I believe Nichols trying to give himself some space here as they get into lap traffic. First car they will encounter is the 45 of Andrew Hardings. Remember, Hardings missed the grid and is now shown 6 laps down. At 22 cars on the lead lap currently, so Hardings a little bit out of shape in front of your race leader. Is going to make a shallow entry point, and he will give way to your top 2. Nichols now will have the number 22 of Zach Ford to contest with. Ford going to try to give some space here down the backstretch as your race leader rolls on by the 49 right back to the back bumper. So to put a lap car between second and third place now. With Grout running there in spot number 2. Honey right there in front of him will give way to the race leader. So Honey will get put down 1 lap. Is lap traffic playing nice so far for your race leaders, and they've got to be feeling pretty thankful for that. As the track now opens up a little bit as Braxton DeWeese has made his way into spot number 4. Zach Coyer and Brett Hahn battling it out for the 5th spot. And it is this track, one of those tough little tracks to get out of the way. Contact between Logan Powers and McLaren. McLaren to the inside. 3 wide in the turn number 1. Can they make it stick? More contact up off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. McLaren to the inside using lap traffic as a pick. But will Powers do the same thing as they have Honey right there in front of them? All this happening here on lap 80. Crossover move off the corner. How about that? Logan Powers with a crossover move. So McLaren up the racetrack. He's going to try to hold on to that spot. But a nice move by Logan Powers to set himself up for the inside. Nice move is the yellow flag will fly here for Devin McDonald's car in trouble. Up off of turn number 4. So the yellow flag coming out for the 6th time here. And let's see what happened to Devin. He and Scott Rochefort battling it out. Down into the corner, Rochefort to the inside, a little bit of contact to the left rear quarter panel. And around he will go. Single car incident for the most part, but Scott Rochefort did tag the left rear quarter panel. As looks like Danny Honey will get the lead back on the lead lap. So the Honey set 084, 710, whichever you want, D84 maybe. I'm not superstitious, but I'm just a little stitious. And green on a race car, this is a no-go for me. I don't know about y'all out there, but seems to be working for Honeysett. And Rochefort there, he's back quarter left or back bumper has seen a little bit better action. Really, really interesting on how clean of a race this really has been from the standpoint of how small this racetrack is, and I'm assuming that we might see the tempers and with the hourglass of this one getting smaller, that might just come to an end. So Zach Nichols will lead us to the green flag. Here as the field paces down the back stretch and into turns 3 and 4 to the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast restart zone, and we are back underway. Down here in the turns 1 and 2, everybody minding their P's and Q's and going to make it through. Zach Nichols leads it. A little bit more bumper contact between Jake Grout. We saw Grout on these restarts be super aggressive and to be able to stay right to the back bumper. How about the battle for the third spot between Rochefort and Deweese? They are side by side. Zach Coyer in the 7 of McLaren making a little bit of contact. McLaren into the 6th spot. He's going to bring the 31 of Logan Powers with him as well. As your top 6-7 cars get single file now. Zach Coyer going to fall in line behind the 31. But yellow coming out for a big one here on the back stretch. And Ty Delphia involved. Andrew Hardings and Zach Ford. Oh, the 2 of the Meester sideways. That's behind them and down into the corner. Oh, just a stack up in front of the 13 of Ty Delphia. And that stacked up. Dornbos also going around. Let's take another look here from the vantage point. Here you see that happening. Down here in the corner. There's the bumper tag. Oh, this bud's for you. For the 22 of Zach Ford. Didn't crack the can too bad. I don't see any liquid falling out of that radiator. I love that paint scheme. If you live underneath the rock, you know that Budweiser are going to be sponsoring Dale Jr. I know, surprise, surprise. At the Florence race here in the month of November. So that's pretty interesting. At the field here with closing in on 30 laps to go. And we saw just how tight the 8 of Deweese was hanging onto that door. So the field now rolls up behind there. We're going to be able to go green flag racing. Here with 31 laps to go in the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast 125. Here on a wonderful Wednesday night. Green flag is up and we are back underway. Grout right to the back bumper. He gets tagged by Rochefort. Side by side battle back there. Doesn't stack him up too bad. Can Deweese get down in front of the 71 of Hahn? Cannot. Brett Hahn there is a more bumper tag in towards the back here with cars. Oh, into the inside wall. Yellow. As Stephen Kinnard's stuck in the concrete. The 38 of Braden Cook going to be able to get away. But Kinnard is stuck. And the left front might be in the there. Let's take a look here. We saw it starting to happen with Stephen Kinnard. It has already taken place there. Go a little bit deeper here and see what happened here. Down in the corner, he gets down the corner. Oh, he got into the 77. He's stacking them up. And this gets turned and, oh yeah, ripped the left front right off the number 4 car. You can see that car sitting there trying to get going, unable to. So a tough break for the number 4 of Kinnard. And that white number 4. As the field paces behind the pace truck here for the 8th time. Chris out there, and Doug, and everyone else watching, thank you for tuning on in here to the Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series with tonight's Bubba Bout Broke Podcast 125. If you are just tuning on in, you have missed a good one here as the field rolls here through turns 1 and 2. The lights have gone out around the Speedway. And Kinnard has taken the 4 car behind pit wall. Too much damage and too little time to get it repaired. As the field rolls off the corner, and the 44 Nichols going to jump on that gas pedal first. Down here in the turn number 1. Oh, the race leader up the racetrack. Side by side, Grout to the inside. That's what he was looking to do all night long. A battle for the race lead, side by side. Up off of turn number 4 they come. Nichols to the outside, Grout back to the race lead. That allows the 00 Roachford to the inside. Now they work down the back stretch. Braxton Weiss and Brett Hahn battling out. Hahn to the inside. They smell the blood in the water now as the 44 catches the outside fence. Everybody's temper starting to flare here a little bit late in this going, as race leader Zach Nichols finds himself back to 4th. He is on the outside. A little bit of contact between the 7 of McLaren and Nichols. Nichols going to force his way down. More contact into the corner. 1 car around. Everybody keeping it pointed in the right direction, beating and banging around the Speedway. What an exciting here as Nichols forced back to spot number 4. Forced his way down in front of the 7 of McLaren as they have gotten away, but Zach Coyer, Braxton Weiss also fighting his way back. He dives it in deep. He says 8 tires turn better than 4. He'll take the 8th spot away from Ramsey there in the 13 car. Everybody, Jeff Dillon to the inside of Dornbos is up front. Grout leads over Roachford, Hahn, Nichols, and McLaren. Those 5 cars have broken out over Logan Powers, who had this check up there. Everybody bouncing and banging off the rear bumpers. But Jake Grout leads. 17 laps to go. At least but Roachford starting to close in on him. Same with the 71 of Hahn, and you know that Nichols has got to be hot under the collar. Forced out of the race lead by that J&S Sales, number 49. You got the wily old veteran of Brett Hahn hunting back there as well. Grout up the racetrack just a little bit. Rochefort trying to find a way around. Rochefort winless so far this season. Same with Brett Hahn. Hungry drivers up at the front of this one. Nose to tail they come. Here comes the 71 a little bit sideways. I think the 44 might have done a little bit of a bumper tag on them. Up the racetrack. Here they come off the corner. Hahn going to try to cut back up underneath. Can't quite do it. Was forced up the racetrack one lap ago. Is Nichols too strong getting away? Now has his sights on the 00, and I don't know if you'd want to tape that to the backside. It says kick me, but an angry driver behind you. We'll see what Nichols will do. That time Rochefort. Oh, the race leader in the outside wall. Here comes Nichols. Nichols to the inside. He's going to push the 00. Gets him a little bit sideways. Still on the backside of him down the back stretch. Nichols knows it is time to go. 9 laps to go. Here comes Nichols up underneath him. Nichols trying to get to the number 2 spot, and watch out what will happen as Nichols tries to hunt back for the race lead. More contact between Rochefort and Nichols. Rochefort in the outside wall. Here comes the 71 of Brett Hahn. He's going to force his way to the inside. More contact. 8 tires turn better than 4 here at the quarter mile. Lap traffic dead ahead of your race leader, and you don't think Nichols is pedaling that car for all it's worth with 7 laps to go. And the yellow flag flies for Ethan Tyrrell's 92. And that, whew, you gotta be, if you are Jake Grout, whew, what are you thinking right now? Let's take a look here and see what happened to Ethan Tyrrell. Looking from down at the blimp, him and Dornbos battling it out. Down in the corner, just a slight contact. Dornbos to the inside, and around he'll go. I don't think they will be exchanging Christmas cards at the end of tonight. But 5 laps to go. I don't know if we'll have an original green, white, checkered. But Grandma, if you've got your teeth in, you might want to take them out, put them in your pocketbook. This one is about to get rough here tonight. Could not. You know, what do I say? I just try to build it up here. 4 laps to go. Looks like the 18 of Devin McDonald is going to get back on to the lead lap. So I believe we'll have into our green, white, checkered. Not sure what to expect if we can get back to the white flag. And this looks like it might be a natural green, white, checkered. So if we get a quick yellow flag, we get a little extra here in the quarter mile. There's the 9th yellow flag about to go back underway. And we are going to try to give you the best views here of this restart. Here they come off the corner. The green flag is up, and we are back underway. Nichols unable to get to the inside. They're going to stuff it in there 3 wide for spot number 3. Jackson McLaren to the inside of Nichols. Up off the corner. White flag will fly. Last lap around the quarter mile. Brett Hahn hungry for a win. We'll get to the back bumper trying to get there. Braxton Louise forcing his way through. Up off the corner they come. It'll be Jake Grout to the checker flag. He's going to win. The Bubba's Bout broke 125. Brett Hahn will come home second. Jackson McClearing third. DeWeese is in fourth. And Zach Coyer rounding out your top 5. As melee has happened here on the front stretch, coming to the checkered flag. Is the 49 going to burn it down here on the front stretch? And how about that, folks? Wow, what a finish. Jake Grout going to hold on to pick up the win. Brett Hahn second and Jackson McLaren third. We will talk to them right after a quick word from one of our station sponsors. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network with the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast post-race show. And welcome back here to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for tonight's running of the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast 125 for the Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series. And we have made our way down trackside as the driver gets unstrapped of this number 49 car. Have Jake Grout going to pick up the win, and we hear making sure that he's ready to go. And Jake Grout out of the race car. Folks, let's have you hear it. Jake, you are victorious here on the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast night. And you're going to come home with a few extra dollars in your pocket. But, man, what a wild race. Talk us through what it was like out there on this quarter mile.
Yeah, first and foremost, I gotta apologize to Zach. I did not mean to get into him that hard there into one. I tried to just show my nose and see if he'd give it to me, and I tried to let out of it, but it was too late at the point. So I have to apologize to him because I know he was a lot faster than what it showed. So other than that, it was a decent race. I mean, started up front and stayed up front, so can't really complain too much.
How important was the track position here? We saw some guys able to come up through the field, but it feels like that inside lane was where you really wanted to be.
Yeah, I think track position and lane choice was the most important. I mean, you see the guys that start in the back, and they really pretty much just stayed back there, and they just kept getting tangled up. So being able to start up front and just ride around is probably the most important thing about this track.
Well, you're going to come home victorious. What's it mean to pick up the win here on Bubba's Bout Broke podcast night in the Race 1 Street Stock Series? We've seen you the last few weeks have some fast race cars and able to finally seal the deal here tonight.
Yeah, it means a lot. I've showed up and just tried to race, and I haven't had good luck. So finally go to a track where I felt decently confident, and I think it showed.
It definitely did here. And hey, have a seasoned veteran of the ASRC breathing down your neck here on that last restart. What was going through your mind trying to hold off Brett? And you know Zach was hungry on the outside of you as well.
Yeah, I knew Zach was, I knew he wasn't happy. He was kind of giving me the bumper under caution. So knew I had to worry about him, but I wasn't too worried about Brett. I've known him for a while, raced with him. And I knew he'd be clean, so he wasn't one to worry about for sure.
Well, we want to wish you or congratulate you here on the win here. We know you got some sponsors on the side of this race car that you need to thank and people behind the scenes.
Yeah, I got to thank A.W. Clark Builders, J&S Sales Service and Rentals, White's Heating, Curly Transport, RKM Setup Shop, Connor Jones Racing, Misfit Productions, Patriot Media, Driver Tees, and everybody else I missed.
Well, congratulations on your first win of the season here in the Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series, and we look forward to seeing you next week as well, Jake. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
There you go. Tonight's feature winner for the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast 125, Jake Grout, and a driver that was sniffing ever so close to driver that calls Michigan home, Brett the Jet. Well, kind of get grounded here for a second place finish, Brett, but you were right there sniffing out that win. What did you need out of that 71 car other than probably a few more laps?
Yeah, that was probably it, Al. Just a few more laps. Maybe Grout makes a slight mistake going into that final corner or on the last lap, but he hit all his marks he needed to do what he needed to do. And, yeah, just a little bit too late, but once again, out here tonight, such a tough track. It was all about track position.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of beating and banging and guys leaning on each other and having, the track position be as important as it was. I know that in a situation that way, there's probably some choice words when you're running, like, say, second or fourth or something like that, and that yellow flag comes out. You're probably not looking forward to seeing that yellow flag come out here, but you're able to, bounce. You were up front, got put back a little bit on those restarts. How hard is it to keep your composure to be able to, say, all right, still a long race left to go, can make my way back up towards the front? How hard is that underneath racing conditions here, especially on such a small, tight racetrack?
Oh yeah, especially the track size, like you said, Al. It's so tough to do because, you start getting flustered, even just a little bit, you start missing your marks, and at a small track like this, you need 100% concentration. So you start getting flustered, missing your marks, and your day just keeps on slipping away from you. So every time it seemed like, especially at the start there, it seemed like every time I would get stuck on the outside, we'd have a 20-25 lap run along, and always slide all the way back to 6. And in my head, I said, all right, we just got to hit our marks and try and get back to an odd position for when that yellow inevitably comes out, let's say, at the end. And luckily there at the end, got to finally restart in the 3rd position on that final restart. Wasn't sure what was going to happen between Nichols and Grout, but it seemed like Nichols got some help from behind that really slowed him on up, because that was another thing you couldn't afford to do, Al. If you hit the guy in front of you at the apex, you stacked up that whole entire line. So it was such a balancing act to try and get the run on the guy in front of you, but not hit him, because if you do, you're probably getting hit, and then a huge stack up, and you see cars flying around you probably every which way.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of beating and banging here on that natural green, white, checkered there, Brett. And you're going to be able to come home in spot number 2. Good points night. You've been fast here, unable to grace victory lane. What do you need? What are you learning about these street stocks that might help you get into victory lane here on the second half of the season?
Yeah, Al, I think I just need to find that extra half a mile an hour at the apex. I don't know how. I got to give a lot of props to Zach Nichols, because he can go out here and run incredible kind of race pace and, keep that car underneath him for the whole race, which is awesome to see. I wish I could figure it out now. I think I just need more laps in these cars, because it really is about momentum and really trusting the car and, being able to tiptoe on that edge without pushing it, because these tires, man, they're not the most forgiving. You light them up a little bit, and then it takes a little bit to cool them back off and get them back underneath you. And by then, whoever you're battling's probably put at least 2 car lengths on you. So probably a little bit more seat time and that long run pace to keep these tires under me, and just trying to, I think that's the key right there.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do in 1 week's time. Next week is the cutoff race for the Chase. I believe you're solidly going to be a partaker in that championship hunt here that will kick off on November 13th at the Kern County Raceway. Next week, Rockingham. We look forward to see what you can do there, Brett, but who makes it all possible on this 71 car to be here on the podium?
Yeah, appreciate it, Al. Of course, first got to thank you and Turn 3 Racing Network. You guys always do a great job. Always a great time to have you guys broadcast, and you do a great job, Al. Can't wait to go back, rewatch this. Of course, out here racing, got to give Tanner a huge shout out for putting this series on and doing the admin stuff. I know probably tonight he was pulling his hair out a little bit after that green, white checkered and whatnot, but we'll get everything sorted on out here. Of course, Turn 3, partner with Premier Setups. If you're looking for some great setups, especially on the dirt side, check them on out. I believe a link in the description there. I'll send you on over. And on the car, we got to thank QuickTime, Tanner's graphics design. I know he's kind of taking a little bit of backseat, but now with winter around, he should have some more time. So if you're looking for an awesome paint scheme, always hit up Tanner. He does a great job. Of course, Race1Wraps, do an awesome job. Got to give them a huge shout out for coming on board with the title sponsor of this series. I actually entered in one of Mark's raffles for a half wrap on the race cars here as we start to get those things more and more pieced together. So it'd be awesome to win that, especially running in his series. And of course, all the competitors out here. Congrats to Jake on the win here tonight, first of the season. Got to give a huge shout out to Braxton, racing me clean the way he does. the 13 Zach Hoyer, me and him put on a great show. Got to give him a shout out, and as well as Zach Nichols, always some great guys up in front to always battle on with. So, and then of course all the Brett the Jet fans out there. Got my grandma, Grammy usually tuning on in. Parents, mom, dad, huge shout out to them, brother Carson, and all the other people that cheer on the 71 machine. Can't do it without all their support, and they help me find those extra tenths here to run well each and every week.
Well, congratulations, Brett. We look forward to talking to each and every week, and buddy, that win is coming. I can feel it. Maybe next week at Rockingham.
Yeah, or maybe, we hit our stride in the playoffs. It's going to be tough to catch Zach, but we'll see what we can do.
All right, sounds good. That's Brett the Jet coming home in spot number 2 here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds for the Bubba's Bout Broke Podcast 125. And, well, finishing in spot number 3 is Mr. Bubba's Bout Broke Podcast himself, Mr. Jackson McLaren. And Jackson, man, I'll say an up and down night is probably putting it nicely here. You got a lot of tire marks and bangs up on this beautiful looking number 7 car. But first of all, congratulations on finishing 3rd in the podium. But talk about your race here tonight from your perspective from the driver's seat.
Yeah, man. First of all, really kind of surprised to be on the podium for this race, to be honest with you. This track is just such a bullring, and you have to be so physical. You almost have to race this track, I feel like, way differently than your normal driver etiquette. You're not used to going off in there and just having to bang somebody out of the way to take their spot. But, at this racetrack, you really have to do that. It's very inside dominant. If you're on the outside, you're out to dry pretty much. So, basically from my perspective, I started 8th, on the outside, not where you want to be, but I just wanted to get somewhere I could settle. And that first stint was going pretty well, just kind of riding there. And but then it was caution after that, and it was just take everything you can get. I'd gain 2 or 3 spots, and then I would have to restart 6th, and I'd lose a couple, and just felt like I was just going right back where I started, but eventually was able to just keep getting inside restarts and been able to utilize that. And that last stint toward the end there, I was running 5th, and I was honestly hoping there would be another caution, but there ended up being a late race caution, and I got super aggressive and made up 2 spots and got to 3rd. So, yeah, it's just a brutal racetrack. It really is, but I was very surprised to see the checkered flag at 125 laps on this track for sure.
Yeah, we were trying to calculate when that last yellow flag came out if we would have a natural green-white checkered or maybe a possible 2 attempts for a green-white checkered there. And, this race, I wasn't sure. I saw it on the schedule, and I was like, what are they thinking here? But it ended up was very entertaining from our seat up here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. But we know that not only are you racing here tonight, but you got the All-American 400 weekend coming up. You're going to be part of that in the real-world side of things, so we'll be checking out that. And, the Bubba's About Broke podcast drops every Monday night with a new episode. And you got some guests lined up that you would like to, promo on that you can talk about?
Yeah, so coming up this Monday, we're going to have a show that's all about the All-American 400 weekend coming up. That's our big event here, local to where we live. And I'm going to be racing, as you said, in the Pro Late Model All-American 100 and the JXCRA All-Stars Tour. So we're going to have Gary Neal, who is with the Nashville Fairgrounds Hall of Fame, and he works at the racetrack as well. We're going to have him on the show, just kind of talking all things All-American 400. We're going to be going over all the entry list and just talking about the Friday night championships on the quarter mile. They're going to be decided next Friday night as well. So it's going to be a big show, just talking about everything coming up at Nashville Fairgrounds next Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
It sounds like a very exciting show coming up there, and I know I enjoy listening to it. Don't really know too much, but it's giving me an idea of people all across. Not only do you do it the central in your area, you talk to racers from all over the country. So it's really cool that you're not just narrowed in on one location. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. We've met so many awesome people. We know JoJo Stearns. He races out in California at Stockton Speedway. And from there all the way to, we've talked to people in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and everywhere in between. So it's been really fun doing this these last couple of years, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Oh, definitely a listen if you're out there and you have not checked them out. It's the Bubba's About Broke podcast, and new episodes every Monday, and really look forward to that. Listen to that while I'm at work. I just like racing in general, so it's nice. It's kind of cool, and you get the stories and just the background stuff that you normally don't know about your local heroes. You go there, and it's cool that you're giving them the spotlight that necessarily maybe they wouldn't have. So it's cool that happens, and you guys do a great job with the podcast, and glad to have you guys be a part of the American Sim Racing Club. And always a pleasure to talk to you, Jackson. I know you're a busy man, and been doing a lot of racing. Really looking forward to what you can do here in that All-American 400 weekend as well. But who makes it all possible for you here tonight to be on the podium?
I just want to give a big shout out once again to our podcast, Bubba's About Broke podcast. Tanner Tellerico for putting on this awesome league. You guys for all the great commentary you guys do and putting on the shows that these fans love watching. So you do a great job with our podcast exposure, and we're just glad to be a part of it and supporting tonight. I guess I'm going to have to give my part to, either a hard luck award or a random finisher or something. So I'll be getting with Tanner about that.
Sounds like a pleasure. And we thank you for everything that you do for the American Sim Racing Club and the racers here. You guys put on a great show each and every week, and always great to have it. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, and hopefully we get to see you out there in a few. I know you've been kind of part-time this season with everything you have going on, but now that we're getting closer towards the end of real life racing, maybe we see you on the racetrack here in the coming weeks a little bit more.
Oh, that's the plan. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Jackson. Jackson McLaren going to come home in spot number 3 here this afternoon. And a great and I would say wild race here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on the quarter mile. Jackson McLaren going to come home third. And that's going to do it for the Bubba's About Broke podcast post-race show right here. Remember, you can check them out each and every Monday. You want to definitely listen this coming Monday as they talk all about the All-American 400 weekend right here at the Fairgrounds. We look forward to listening to that as well. Take a look at the results from tonight's race. See where your favorite driver finished. We talked to the top 3. It was Braxton Louise coming home 4th, Zach Coyer 5, Caleb Ramsey, Zach Nichols, Logan Powers, Steven Rochefort, and Jeff Dillon rounding out your top 10. David Payton will come home in spot 11, Scott Rochefort 12th, Danny Honeysett will come home 13th, John DeMeester 14th, Braden Cook, Hayden Swink, Ty Delphia, and Devin McDonald in spot number 18 for car number 18. In the remainder of your field, Zach Ford, Ethan Tyrell, John Dornbos, Andrew Hardings, and Stephen Kinnard will round out your 23 car field. The series rolls on to Rockingham Speedway in 1 week's time for the final chance to be in the top 20 in points before the chase happens, and that will all happen starting November 13th. But anyway, for everyone behind the scenes, we want to thank you all for being a part of tonight's Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series event presented by Bubba's About Broke podcast. Until next week, everybody, we will see you in turn number 3. Good night, everybody.